Nick just called me and said come around, and he's not even here. He said he's got a new truck, and yet the patrol is in the driveway, so I have no idea what he's talking about. What the fuck? What is this? You are kidding me. You are kidding me.
Marco,
What is this?
this is my bloody new truck.
Truck.
Yep.
It's probably more like a big ute than a truck.
Big ute. Nah, full-time work bus.
Yeah, nice.
Patrol's coming off the road for a little bit.
Ah.
Putting 35s on it. New diff centers.
Oh yes.
Nothing like a fresh pair of shoes.
Alright, let's get straight in. After the vehicle's jacked up and you've got both front wheels off, start removing the 6 freewheeling hub bolts and pull this straight off, place it to the side. Next up, remove the 2 caliper retaining bolts. Hang the caliper using a bit of wire around the spring or something like that. That way you will put no stress on the brake hose. Remove the 2 little screws holding this lock washer in. Now using a specialty tool, remove the lock nut, although this can be done without it. Now you can withdraw the hub and disc assembly from a stub axle. Just take care, because the bearing can fall from the rear of this. Jump under the vehicle and crack the fuel plug. Then you can just go ahead and drain the oil. Back on the hub, remove the 3 bolts that are retaining the grease shield and put this to the side. Under that, there will be 6 more bolts retaining the brake back in place. For the drag link, back off the castellated nut, apply some upward force and hit the swivel hub until the ball joint pops. Remove this altogether or tie it up out of the way. And it's the exact same process for the tie rod, except this time do both sides because it must be completely removed. Remove the seal guard retaining bolts and withdraw the seal guard. Just take note of the steering lock bolt because this will need to be installed in the exact same location. Remove the upper and lower bearing cap retaining bolts and withdraw the bearing caps. Take note of the orientation and any shims that may be in there. Wiggle the swivel hub from the axle housing. The flat side on the CV will have to be facing up for removal. With that side now complete, go ahead and repeat the whole process around the other side. With both axles out, head underneath and mark the alignment between the front drive shaft and the pinion flange to ensure correct installation. Remove the 4 nuts and bolts and lay the shaft to the side. Remove the brake line bracket at the top of the housing, and in our case the electrical plug for the e-locker, and then start removing the housing nuts. This thing is heavy, so be prepared when removing it. With the centre out, inspect the housing for any metal shavings. With this complete, check on your roast pork, and if you haven't already done so, crack a tin. To remove the stub axle from the axle shaft, remove the snap ring, followed by a spacer, and the stub axle should pull straight off. All that should be left on the axle shaft is the thrust washer. Note the orientation before you remove it. To remove the spline bearing, you'll want to use a brass drift, or we made up this groovy little punch. On the back of the hub, you'll have a seal to pry out, followed by 2 bearing cups to push out. Do this through the notches to evenly hit them out. This is a good time to start cleaning everything up so it's ready for installation.